Howdy y'all, it's Aaron here, and in this episode, I'm very excited to share with you what actually moves the needle to increase sales for your clothing store. As always, make sure that you grab something to take notes with and stick around until the end where I'm going to share with you what 7-figure clothing stores are doing differently than those who are making 6 figures. All right, so number one is to turn your clothing store into a media company first. The sad truth is that no one will really care about your clothing store until you give them a reason to care about them. So the fastest way to break into a market is to create content and treat your business like a media company where the byproduct is actually selling clothes. Focus on creating content that happens to sell your clothing items. All right, so let's look at a couple of examples of those who are doing it well right here. All right, so first up we have here is World and Vision. They do an amazing job on YouTube. Their Instagram is probably their most popular. We'll look at that here in a second, but for Instagram, they're showing behind the scenes of their business, and their big story, their big push is that they started with like 12 shirts and $120 and then grew to a 7-figure company. But what's really cool is that they literally are teaching other people how to do what they did, and then they're just documenting it along the way. So they have Q&As, like right here, how to grow your clothing brand, successful tips. They also have here like, hey, what we're doing wrong with our inventory, how to make your clothing stand out, like their strategy. Like here's a behind the scenes, here's a look at our strategy. So they're creating content and building awareness for their brand that also happens to sell shirts. Now, they're making money off their YouTube channel. They're probably making money off of endorsements or whatever else. But the cool thing is that they're using that content to, again, sell shirts. And that's the big piece of the puzzle. This is the big area where they're actually making revenue for their company. All right, so let me show up their Instagram here. All right, so as you can see here, they're really, really popular on Instagram. They have great engagement, which is very hard to see for most clothing stores because they just post their products. But they are really focused on using things that are trending right now to showcase their products. Now, if you look here closely, this is just an outfit, but there's a reel. For whatever reason, it won't necessarily load on my end, but they're using a lot of reels, which Instagram is suggesting right now. They're using a lot of videos, which Instagram is suggesting right now. And they're not really showcasing too many products. I would say it's, a third of their clothing, or a third of their posts rather, are actually clothing items that you would say this like a post for their clothing, but they're at least doing it in a way that's like a lifestyle for their brand, which is pretty cool. And they're showing behind the scenes. They also have a lot of user-generated content, which is pretty cool. But you can see here that their focus, right? This graphic, again, did okay. I'm guessing this is more like an offer, which why it has some kind of engagement or that many comments. But they're using their content to resonate with their audience who happens to share that content, which as a byproduct is actually selling the shirts. What you'll see from other clothing stores, which I won't get into, is that they just have a picture of the shirt, a white background, and then they just say buy this shirt, or they have a pair of hoodies or whatever else, or buy this bundle, and it's just literally the product, versus what you would see here is a curated piece of content or a curated feed that has a lot of content that's engaging for somebody without just having to sell them the products. All right, so this is a brand called The Hundreds, and one that's actually new to me. This was one that Christian and Franklin were telling me about. But what's good about this is that there's the CEO, the owner, has his own areas that he's marketing the business as well. That's even on probably one of the most valuable spots on the website. So right, we have the shop, the collections, the collaborations, which are huge here. But the Buy Bobby, so texting, he's focused on SMS marketing. The monologue, don't really know what this is too much about. This just looks like it's updates from him, things that he's thinking about. It's kind of cool. So kind of like a blog-ish, I guess. This is not a t-shirt, which is a book that he has. Again, he's using his book to tell people about selling products or selling t-shirts, and then as a byproduct ends up probably selling more t-shirts. Really cool designs, and obviously he's doing well because it's limited edition stuff and it's all sold out. Everything on this page is actually sold out, so kind of cool. And then this is not a podcast. Again, not something that he's actually updated for a while, so may have to see if he's just doing more collaborations, but quite a few episodes here. And the business may have grown so much that he isn't able to devote time to it. But the point is, he's using other areas, whether it's books or SMS marketing or podcasts, those types of content to build his clothing store. And as a byproduct, people are interested in talk about his clothing store because of all the other fun stuff that he's doing, all the things that he is doing that are creative. All right, y'all, before we cover number 2, I just wanted to say howdy. My name is Aaron. I'm one of the co-founders here at BitBranding. We're an e-commerce growth agency that specializes in helping clothing stores grow and scale profitably online. Now, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on any of the latest strategies for clothing stores. We drop new content every single week. All right, so number 2 is jump on waves. So right now, the wave you should be riding to increase your clothing store sales is TikTok. Now, honestly, we're gonna do more TikTok videos for clothing stores and helping you guys grow, but I truly believe Facebook is the best place for you to run ads right now for your clothing store. However, but organic traffic with TikTok is unprecedented right now. And if it makes sense and you can dedicate the time or you have a team member to do something on that platform, then do it. If not, please do not chase that shiny object. I know this is contradictory, but I really believe that this strategy can be a blessing and a curse. You can increase sales here, but if you don't have the infrastructure or systems in place, this actually may cripple you and may not be the best first move. All right, so number 3 is to drop collections. Now, you don't have to have a limited run or even to close down your site for traffic. I actually have seen several people and talked to them recently who have closed down their whole site and just says like, wait for the collection drop, which is kind of cool. Nice strategy, they sell out. But a collection drop allows you to focus in and create content that is specific for your clothing. So if you dropped for example, Safari collection for summer, you could then create videos, graphics, reels, emails, stories, and all of this to promote that collection. Actually, there's an amazing theme that is available on Shopify right now. And I'm gonna bring in, you guys probably know him very well, Christian. He's gonna explain just real quickly, what is this theme?
So if you haven't heard, there is a newish theme called Drop, where it literally gives you the opportunity for you to have this section right here, which basically tells you, hey, there's a new product or collection drop coming in 16 days, 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 1 second. And you can click on that button to get notified. So you sign up via email to get notified when this drop drops. So check out that theme in the Shopify theme store. Again, it's called Drop.
All right, so if you want that theme, we'll actually link it down in the description for you guys below. When the collection drops, you send everyone to one page on your website. The best part is that you can upsell people items that they may already like. So if you build a whole collection around a similar style, showing them why this is a shirt with these jeans or this hoodie, it's a smart move because literally it's a no-brainer that you could upsell them or downsell them other items in that collection. Here's some brands that are literally killing it, quote unquote, literally killing it right now on collections. All right, so this brand, this clothing store does an amazing job of helping themselves stand out from all of the competition. They, 1, buy different clothes, but 2, they do a great job of just naming their collections. I think that's literally 50% of the battle is, what do you name this? Because stay away from like the summer or St. Patrick's Day or whatever else, right? Think of something a little bit more elegant or sophisticated or something that people can get excited about. For example, this one is Postcards from the Coast. Really cool name. Obviously, it's a spring/summer type of post. It's warmer weather because they're trying to tell people they're going on vacation. So what's really cool is that all this content right here is curated for this collection. So if I wanted to sell, for example, this beach bag, you can literally pre-order here, but if they bought that beach bag, they may also like these shorts or this top or these shoes to go to the beach as well or go to, quote unquote, the coast. They also have several different items on here. It looks like this is 4, 8, 12, 16 different items for this collection. It's a good number. I would say a minimum of 16, 24 being kind of like that maximum before the collection becomes too much. I also like to keep it all on one page because if you have to make them go to the second page, they'll likely forget what's on that first one. Now, this advice is really for when I'm talking about a collection. I want them to be able to see everything in the collection on one page and make their decision. It also allows you to do pop-ups or, like I said, upsells or even downsells on the page that is relevant to them, which is this collection drop. All right, so this is a really cool, a one that I would be excited to wear all of these items here. So they did a collaboration with Marvel here. You can see the Wolverine. And what I'm told anyway is that they do it in basically 2 drops. But what's cool here is that if I go to Never Surrender, I have everything that's specific to Wolverine. And depending on who you are or what you're interested in, Wolverine is definitely the best X-Men, which is really cool. with the types of shirts, and this collection is available. What you can see though, which is kind of cool, is that there's limited stock, obviously. Like for example, this t-shirt or this tank top, completely out of stock. This tank top, completely out of stock. So they do have quite a few products, actually a lot more than I was expecting, but it is a limited run. I don't know how long they take to sell out, but it's a really cool strategy for people to create content around it. I can see most people are not going to be able to make a deal with Marvel, let's just say that. So they don't have to promote this brand as much, but they could create a lot of really cool content using Marvel and Wolverine to sell this collection. I don't think they really need to for this brand, but a good idea or something that you could use for yourself to kind of get some inspiration. All right, before we move on to the best area to increase sales, probably the fastest way for you to increase sales in your business, I want to tell you about our free masterclass training for clothing stores that will walk you through the 5 pillars that you must have in place for your online store to scale consistently and profitably, no matter what is happening online. So if you're interested in that free training, make sure you check out the link in the description down below. All right, so number 4 is to acquire the customers at all costs. And that's not really, I really didn't mean to be punny there. At the end of the day, you have to be able to acquire customers. One thing I would suggest is to figure out how much you can spend to acquire a customer. The goal is to acquire them profitably, but even if you can't, you need to know when you will make that profit. Now, if you're in the beginning stages of your business, then you will need to forecast. This just means predict what's going to happen in your business. I want you to be able to figure out your total cost of goods, your shipping, and your taxes. Determine exactly how much one shirt will cost for you to send it and deliver to a customer. The next step here is to determine how many times someone will buy from you in the next 30 to 60 days. Again, take an estimate, do some research. Most people will buy from a brand if they actually market to them, maybe 2 times, 3 times over 60, 90 days. So figure out what's actually average for your type of clothing and your type of price point. Is it once or is it twice? Figure out what that is over a 30 to 60 day range. Now, let's say they buy 3 times over that 60-day period, meaning that initial buy and then they buy 2 other times. All right, so let's say that it costs $40 to acquire them on a $50 purchase, right? Meaning that you spent $40 to get a $50 purchase. But over the next 2 months, they spend an additional $150 with you. You now have $200 in sales over 60 days. The answer you need to come up with here is how profitable you are. Are you profitable? If so, then repeat this process. Focus on acquiring the customers because you know then you will be profitable. So if you need help determining your advertising budget, then you need to check out this free calculator that we have. Just comment the word calculator down below and we'll send it over to you guys free of charge. All right, so let's jump into Ads Manager now and I'll show you the cost per purchase for some campaigns that were too high and what I would do to them. All right, so first off, let's look here. This campaign, 5 purchases for $8.18, amazing. This campaign, or this ad set rather, 2 purchases for $88, averaging this out to $35. So this campaign, $35, not too bad in the last 7 days, but let's go look at a separate campaign here for dynamic creative. This campaign is costing $129 per purchase for broad. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go to the creative, what's happening. I'm gonna go to the creative breakdown. I'm gonna look at these images and figure out, okay, which one of these is actually the average cost per acquisition for us, and how do we exploit this? For example, this particular image costs $109. This one, $123. This one, $84. Time to put in new creative here. This one has one for $25. Now, to make sure that this isn't a fluke, I go back 14 days. Cost per purchase has risen in the last 7 days for some reason. This one right here had 12 purchases for $64. Kind of high, looks like it's quote unquote getting most of the money, but why is that? Again, $70 purchase, $45 purchase. So there's something going on here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and edit the campaign and I'm gonna add in new creative. I'm gonna figure out which one of these actually had the most sales and then replicate those pieces of content that had done well. Now, one thing that I see here that we're missing is that there are no graphics and there are no videos. So that's another step. We always suggest to have a combination of graphics and videos and not just lifestyle photos and not just product photos. There are no product photos. It is strictly just posing. I would consider this a little bit of lifestyle. for these last two, but we're missing videos and graphics. So that is what I would change first to lower the costs here. Likely Facebook is saying this isn't a good experience for somebody because the cost is rising. So just a quick synopsis right here, that is what I would go ahead and change right now. All right, so number 5 is to optimize your website. Now, if you did nothing else to your business, you didn't listen to the other 4, you just actually skipped to this part right here, you're still gonna get something out of this. Most people fall into 1 or 2 categories when they're optimizing their website. They either spend all of their time trying to fix their website and never actually do anything else, or they avoid it like the plague. So you need to be in that equal middle part there so you can actually grow your business. Your website can be the single most important pieces of growing your clothing store and connecting that puzzle. If you do everything that we talked about earlier, but then send people to a site that turns them off or is not relevant or doesn't load, you just lost a customer. 75% of the people who go to your website will never come back again unless you invite them to come back or you advertise to them or send them an email to market to them. The single most fastest way to double your sales is to increase your conversion rate on your website. More traffic at a higher conversion rate equals more sales. More people to your website at a lower conversion rate means likely the same amount of sales. You have to send more people to make the same amount of sales. So let me show you some examples of sites that are doing really well and some potential tweaks that you can make. All right, so one of the best ways for you to increase the conversion rate on your website is your product description. This brand does an amazing job of showing the products, which I would kind of couple a little bit with the product descriptions. But if you look a little bit farther below, it says this has a great product description. I won't read the whole thing, but we'll read this first sentence. Our oversized crew neck tee, now available in acid wash colors. This 90s inspired Del Sur acid wash tee won't let you down. And they go on to talk about the quality of the material and who this is for. They said, our model is this tall, 6'2", wears a size large, chooses from a wide range of colors. Some of the features include all of these. They also break down the shipping and returns and payment options. And what I've seen also, let's say for example, summer of 22, they also have some that have great product reviews as well. So what you like to see here is, again, a great product description describing who this is for, why they should wear it. I want to know the materials. I'd love to know the model size, some of the features. That's amazing. I also want to know about shipping and returns. For this particular brand, they're in Australia, which is also pretty cool. So they also tell you like, hey, this is what's going on for free shipping on international orders, how long it takes, so you can expect your wait time or not your wait time. But the best part here is their payment options. People like to know how they can pay. Can you use Apple Pay, can you use PayPal, give them the options here. The only thing that I would say right away is that, and most people believe this, is that there should be an option where either if you add to cart, it pops up like this, or just a buy now button as well. It's kind of stealing a little bit from Amazon. I do like the add to cart if it pops out and then tells me to check out and then gives me the payment options, which is a really good way to increase the conversion rate on the site. This is another example of one that is doing great product descriptions. So they not only break down what's on in the product, right, or who this is for, but they have the good for you, everyday casual, working out, sports, outdoors. They know that this is more of like for active, their audience is for more an active community. The fabric and spec details, so they break down all of that. I love the models, size and weight, so you can find out a little bit more about them. And this also has the customer reviews that you can use as well. One thing I would say here to learn from this example is that they also have a shop now Cotton Crew, like for their hero image, on this button here that says shop hoodies, or I can click right there on the hero image and be taken directly to that product page. A lot of people, most people, just have the button, and you have to make sure that you click the button before that works. Now, the only suggestion I would say here is that I really don't want all these sliding images, because if I want this Cotton Crew tee and I wait just a second, it's gonna pull up this new color launch for this Henley that actually takes me away from where I wanted to go. But I do like that this is completely clickable and it's a much higher conversion rate, especially for mobile where you may not be able to click on the button as easily. All right, and our is from Red Dress. The one thing that it's interesting for them is that they're using collection, which we already talked about, but the scrolling on their page. So they do a really good job of letting you see that there's 24 of 60 products, but I can see all 24 products on this one page. So a really good scrolling experience, especially for you on mobile. Now, there becomes a point where you scroll too much and it's actually takes away from the experience, but there's many people's sites that we've been to where there's 4 or 8 and sometimes 12 products, where there's literally 8 products and you have to go to a second page to see the final 4 versus having them all on one page. So highly suggest for you to have, you can go 3 wide, 4 wide, really up to you. I don't really necessarily have a preference, but I do want the ability to scroll through here, especially if you do collections. This, I believe, is actually quote unquote new today, which is their new arrivals, but there's ability for you to scroll and see 24 products all at once. All right, so one last thing for your website is that you need to make sure that you're looking at your website speed. Make sure that you only have apps that you're actually using right now, because apps are a big way to slow down your site, which is not a good customer experience. All right, y'all, I do have a bonus one here for you. I do wanna let you know about one major secret that is helping us give more data back to Facebook or TikTok, whatever that social media platform is, to get better results and make marketing decisions that increases sales for your clothing store. This is an amazing way for you to grow. We're using a tool called TripleWell for all of our clients, and this is a powerhouse that allows you to see the lifetime value of a customer. But what I'm most excited about is the estimated action rate of customers. So just like you had to suggest, or I suggested earlier, to figure out when somebody's gonna buy in the next 30 to 60 days, this software actually does it for you for free. Imagine being able to send out an email to your customers when they're likely to take action on your website. If that is something of interest for you, make sure you check out the link in the description down below on how to use TripleWell. All right, y'all, I'm wishing you nothing but success. And if you loved this video, make sure that you go check out this one next. It's gonna be super helpful for you. And as always, we'll see you in the next video.